This is the plaintiff, Patrick Lacey. He says he rented an apartment from the defendant, and the guy never had the right to rent the apartment to him in the first place. That's right, he actually took rent and security on a house he didn't own. And if he thinks he can just get away with stealing from someone like that, he is sorely mistaken. That's why he's suing him here for the $2,100 he's owed. This is the defendant, Sean. He says he had a rent-to-own deal with the owner of the house, and he was just as surprised as the plaintiff when he came home one day and all their stuff was on the front lawn. Turns out the owner decided to lock them out. They went to court and won because the judge deemed it an illegal eviction. He's sorry, but the money the plaintiff gave him is all tied up right now, and he's just gonna have to wait until he gets everything sorted out before he can even think of giving him a refund. He's accused of being a big pretender.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendant but says the place was illegal. The defendant says he's a victim too. They were both thrown out by the real landlord. It's the case of the tenuous tenant.
Thank you, Douglas. Patrick Lacey?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Sean. You've asked to be referred to only by your middle name for $2,100 that you've paid him in rent and security deposit because, as it turns out, you were unceremoniously tossed out by what you say is the true owner of the property. What is going on?
Yes, Your Honor. I was looking for an apartment in early November. Around November 5th, I saw a posting on Craigslist for a room in Crown Heights for $700 a month. And I texted the number and wanted to see it that evening. I received the text back from Sean saying that I could come see the room that night. I took my paycheck stubs.
So you see it, and then you like it, and then do you sign something?
I don't sign anything that night. No, it's not until 3 days later, November 8th. I agreed.
Then you sign something November 8th?
I signed a lease.
Do you have the lease with you?
I have a copy of one of the other tenants' lease. My lease was amongst the property that was destroyed. It was in my file
cabinet. Okay, so let me see a copy. Well, I don't know what that, but let me see a copy of.
All right. Yeah.
And is that other tenant's lease between that other tenant and him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is the exact same lease that I signed. The only difference is where it says to one, it would say Patrick Lacey.
Okay. So what happened?
Well, what happened is I was living at Lincoln Place for a good month. I had paid.
Was your lease a month long?
It was month to month. So the agreement was we would pay $700 a month.
This lease says, lease term, the sublease will be for a term beginning November 8th and ending December 7th.
Right. So each month we would sign a new lease agreement. That was the agreement between myself and the defendant.
Didn't you find it bizarre that someone would have you sign a new lease each and every month? That wasn't like a heads up that maybe something was weird?
For me, no. This was actually the first apartment I've gotten on my own since I've lived in New York.
All right. So what ends up happening in the middle of December? You live there in November, incident-free, and then you live there half of December.
Not half of December, up until December 9th. I arrived home at 1 a.m. in the morning, which is really December 10th. I'd been at school studying for my finals. I got home to discover that there was a lock and chain on the front door. I also have pictures of that.
Let me see.
Yes. There you go, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The first few pictures, Your Honor, are of the property prior to the break-in and our property being destroyed, and then the rest of the pictures are after the property was destroyed.
So you come home and what do you see?
I see a lock and chain on the front door. There's no posting indicating that we've been evicted. The windows of the top floor, the second floor, which were the windows to my room, were all busted out. There were dresser cabinets. Some of them belonged to me. Some of them belonged to another tenant.
They actually went inside and just started taking an axe to the walls and stuff?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Who did this?
We believe it was. Okay, here's what happened. In December 16th, we went to court, myself, the defendant, and the 3 other tenants who were residing at Lincoln Place.
Wow.
We were trying to get permission to get back into the premises to see if there was anything left.
Yeah, but how'd you know who to go to court against?
I went to the Department of Land Records, to find out who owned the deed to the property. She is deceased. Her granddaughter is now, I believe it's Lisa, the administrator of her estate. Now, in, I want to say, July of 2013, Lisa, Victoria, and their father, Wellington, each have an interest in the property.
Oh, my God.
They signed a contract of sale with Baruch
But did he close on it?
It is not closed because there's so many split interests. There's also liens on the property.
So it's in process to be sold to Baruch.
Yes, but what I believe is that, and from all the information I've learned since our court date on the 16th, is that, and according to Lisa's testimony on the 16th, she believed that once she signed that contract of sale, she no longer had any responsibility for that property. The judge said that was not the case.
No, of course not. Until you close,
Right.
it's your property.
Right, but what it seems like, and this is, I have to wait until the civil suit. I filed for the civil suit to take
Who'd you file against?
Baruch and Lisa.
Okay.
Sorry, let me.
Oh, my
catch up with
gosh.
thoughts. Yeah, so much has happened. It's hard to keep
Oh
up with
my
everything.
God, I'm in shock.
Right.
Who do you think did this, Baruch?
Baruch is the one.
Why?
Who had
Because
the
Lisa
people.
what?
They may be working together. I honestly have
But she doesn't
no
care.
clue. But
She thinks she's done. She
from
wants her money.
testimony, it seemed that she does not
okay,
care.
so what testimony did you hear her give? Because they were held in front of the judge
Mm-hmm.
on December 16th to explain why there was an illegal lockout. Because you can't just do that. You can't just throw people out like that and change locks.
Well, what Lisa said was that her and her sister were residing in Lincoln Place up until February of 2012. Then they left the property because they deemed it was uninhabitable. Their mother had passed away, and the place was just falling to disrepair.
Wait, how does he come in, though?
This is where it gets interesting.
This is where it gets interesting?
Well, even more interesting, Your
I'm
Honor.
fascinated for the last 10 minutes.
What I believe, since the place was not occupied since February of 2012, I believe that the defendant saw a vacant property, decided to capitalize on an opportunity, broke in, had a little money to fix up the place, obviously has some experience in construction or renovations, fixed up the place, ran out of money, decided to bring in some tenants.
Yeah, but what did he say on the 16th to the judge? To establish his right to be there, to rent to you, to...
The defendant said that he saw a posting at a co-op for the property, and that it said something to the effect of one family home needs TLC. So he decided he wanted to invest money in this property, and he claimed that it was a rent-to-own property, and that he met Lisa. He gave her $2,000. He had no proof of ever giving her any money. He had no receipts.
What did Lisa say when he said that?
She had never met the defendant before.
What did the judge do? The judge was there just to figure out whether this was an illegal lockout and to give you folks the right to get back in there.
Right.
You guys ended up, all of you, including him, ended
Yes.
up winning the right. You were living there too?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
You got the right to go back in there. And then what happened? You guys go back in there and what?
The place is completely destroyed. I also have video on my phone that I took of the property.
Let me see the video.
Yes. Okay. Get him downstairs. Looking around a bit more.
Oh my God. Somebody clearly thinks you're all a bunch of squatters and just figured it was easier to just chop everything up
Front entrance. It's the stairs. that
to
they
get you out than to go to
destroyed.
court to get you out.
Yes.
What is going on?
Okay, Your Honor. Me and a significant other of mine, we were staying together, right? So got into problems, we couldn't live together anymore, and started looking for a new place, right? I didn't really have the first month, last month, and security to pay for a new apartment, so I ended up running into an ad in a co-op, and it said at home, 1011 care, exactly what the plaintiff was
This
saying.
place is a co-op? What did the other people say about what happened that night?
No, it's a food co-op. A food co-op. So it's like a grocery, and it's a grocery where people buy food and stuff. And there's a bulletin board outside and it has a lot of postings
Oh, okay.
for
Go
babysitters
on.
and stuff like that. So I called the owner, made negotiations to go to the apartment.
Who did you negotiate with?
It was a Lisa, and she walked me through the house, explained, showed me everything that needs to be done.
What did she tell you was the status of her ownership of the place?
She's trying to get rid of the house, and it can be a good rent to buy opportunity. So to me, that was a no-brainer.
Where's the paperwork where Lisa rents the place to you?
You see, that's the problem. Once they came in and destroyed all the stuff, the lease was in the house, and the lease and everything else, you know, along with Patrick's
Yeah, it's
lease.
the same thing he says. His paperwork was
Yeah,
also gone, and I can see the
everything-
paperwork everywhere. But okay, so if you met with Lisa apparently told the judge on the 16th that she doesn't know you. She never heard of you from a hole in a wall.
Yeah, I would expect her to say that, you know.
Why would
considering
you expect her to say that?
the illegal eviction that she had taken place, you know.
But why would, if Lisa's in on it with you and she's getting paid, why would there have been an illegal eviction by her to begin with?
You see, the thing is, Lisa told me that we were supposed to go. She went away to school, right, and she's supposed to be back in February, right. So give her $6,000. I gave her $6,000, right. That was $1,000 for every month.
Can you prove you gave her $6,000?
No, I can't.
So how did you get the $6,000? It was in your bank?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you just show me your bank records showing that the transfer of $6,000 at some point?
Well, I don't have that information.
But you
right
know
now.
that this was going to be an issue, right? You know that people are accusing you, starting with Lisa on the 16th of December, that you're just a squatter who walked in there and an opportunist who squatted and then decided to profit out of the squatting. Squatting wasn't enough, but that you decided to rent out to other people.
Your Honor, I did so much work inside of the house. You know, from August, I've been there since August, right? So it's been about August.
And you know that that's true, that he was doing work on the house,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes,
It
It's
was
kind of
that.
weird. Kind of weird for a squatter.
So how do you protect yourself when you rent a room, say, from somebody? How do you protect yourself to know that the person has the right to rent the place?
Get something in writing
What do you get in writing?
that he can't basically do any.
You know what? If I'm that guy and I want to get one over on you, I'll give you something in writing, and who cares? I gave you something in writing. How do you know? What do you get?
Well, you would take it to like a notary public or something.
I think you're off on this one. What do you think?
I think you should get proof that he is the owner.
How do you get that proof? Now, he's not the owner. He's the real renter, say.
Probably go to the city and ask for it.
I think he needs to get the original rental agreement that he got from the original owner.
Ding, 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 going inside the courtroom.
For a squatter to, you know, to put the amount of work that I put into
Well, when a squatter thinks a squatter is going to be able to stay there, they put work in it. But anyway, so go on. So what happens now? You come home and you're shocked to see the place destroyed as well.
Yes,
You
yes.
all get together, file a lawsuit, go to court. The 16th, the judge hears it. Lisa's there.
Yeah,
Who
Lisa's
else?
there.
How many people own that place right now? There's like 5 or 6 people who inherited it.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 people.
Okay,
Me,
but all those people weren't in court on the December 16th date, right?
No.
Just Lisa?
Just Lisa.
What did Lisa say about all this?
Lisa denied the entire situation.
But why? Okay, I'm at a loss though. At the point when this happens, clearly he can't live there. He doesn't want to live there. How's he going to live there with this place all destroyed, all the walls wrecked and everything?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it looks like a bomb went off in there.
Yeah, myself
So
like.
he's not going to live there. So why do you not return his security deposit and at a minimum the rest of December?
Okay, I wasn't profiting off of this, right? You know, since I was under the impression that...
I'm sorry, he gave you $2,100, right?
Right. But
How are
since
you not profiting it out of it?
I was under the impression that on February we were supposed to sit down around the table, right, to go over the rent to buy opportunity.
That's your business. How are you not profiting from him by renting it? He wasn't borrowing it from you. You weren't letting him stay there rent free. You charged him $2,100. You're profiting.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, like if your money goes from Paul to pay Peter, that's your business. That's not his business, you know?
I felt...
Okay, so why would you not return at a minimum the rest of December and the man's security deposit?
I feel that he deserves that back.
Then why didn't you pay it back?
But I don't feel like I'm entitled to give it back to him since I wasn't the one who destroyed the property, broken into, and threw everything out.
Heck no. Let me explain. You want to put your big boy pants on and be a landlord? Then let me explain to you how it works. You don't just get the good parts, the green. You also get the responsibility. You have a responsibility just like every other landlord in town. Anybody who's a sublessor or a landlord, you're a landlord when you're a sublessor, has the obligation to provide to his tenants a place they can live. And if something happens where there's not a place that they can live, then you don't get to collect rent on it or keep a security deposit. Are the other tenants suing?
To date, I'm the only one who has filed a civil suit
Okay, can I
against the
ask
property
you,
owners.
clearly the security deposit, tell me why, if you lived there in November and part of December, why it is that you should get all that back as well?
Yes, Your Honor. I feel that the defendant falsely represented himself as having the legal right to be there and deceived myself and the other tenants into believing that we were going to be residing there legally. So I feel like the whole situation was a fraud and that we were put in...
The problem is, what if whoever this person is who he says he dealt with, what if she really did take some cash to let him go ahead and do what he did? I mean, the guy's putting work into it. I have to for you to be right about not having to pay November and the half of the week in December that you were able to live there. For you to be right about that, I have to find that it's juicy, okay? But I have to find that he really is a squatter who went in there and has a hubris to rent it out. Right. In which case, I wouldn't expect him to show up on the 16th. I wouldn't expect him to testify under oath to a judge that he had a deal with her. Right. I wouldn't expect him to have been working on the place. I kind of think he probably had a very bad deal with her. She doesn't have the right to really rent the place out because she's not the sole owner. But at a minimum, whether I don't need to find that or not find that, I think it's certainly possible. And if I think it's possible, then he may or may have had a right to go ahead and rent it to you. And you have to prove to me he had no right. It's you who has the burden of proving that other situation that is a pure squatter. And it's kind of hard because I got to tell you, logically speaking, and you seem like a very logical man, there are too many things that sort of point towards a stupid deal, but a deal nonetheless.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but I am absolutely going to order him to pay the prorated rent for December and certainly the security deposit. He has absolutely no right to keep that. So that's a total of $700 plus $520, which is $1,220. Verdict for the plaintiff. That's my judgment. And you understand that you have the right, when you sue Lisa, who you claim you have a deal with, you can recover that money because she's cost you that money.
Okay.
If, in fact, you can prove that she cost you that money.
Yes,
and
right.
not that this other person went in there in the middle of the night. I don't know who did this, but when your lawsuits, your respective lawsuits are over, for God's sake, drop me a line and tell me what ended up happening.
Definitely.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Unbelievable situation took place in that house. What's your reaction to the verdict as it comes out here?
Honestly, I still don't feel like as though I'm responsible for it. You know, I didn't have anything to do with that. You know, we both took
No, but you're a
losses.
landlord.
Well, it was a roommate, you know, but technically a landlord, but I still don't feel like I was responsible for it.
Well, you didn't
For
do the
the-
damage, but you're the landlord, so you have responsibility for what happens.
Right. But later on, I'm going to pull it up in civil court, you know, and try to be reimbursed for, you know, the payment that I had to pay him.
Right, you're going to go after that.
Yes,
somebody,
definitely.
right?
Definitely.
Lisa or somebody. Okay.
Definitely.
All right, right down this way.
Right.
All right, so how shocking was it for you to come back to your premises and discover it in that shape?
It was horrifying, actually. You know, I was concerned for my safety, just being there. And you can imagine what it's like to return to a place where you once lived, that was a place that was comfortable to live, and then all of a sudden it's just completely destroyed.
Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, to make sure that you can actually rent the place, you might even call the city and find out to make sure there's a certificate of occupancy, which gives them the right, and also, as you said, demand a lease. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.